Welcome to Help with Natalie Cuomo, the podcast about a girl who just can't help herself.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Help with Natalie Cuomo. I am here in studio today with two awesome people, Josh Adam Meyers and Dylan Negri. What's up, you guys? How are you?
Good.
Doing good. How you feeling?
I wouldn't have thought you would have techno music as your background bed music. You're so rock and roll, and it was like I felt like I was in Ibiza for a moment.
I should have rock and roll music. The thing is that I just, I like to amp people up. First thing, everyone's always so tired when they start a podcast for some reason. You got to raise the roof.
I like the announcer voice. The announcer, Natalie Cuomo needs help.
Natalie Cuomo needs your help. Sunday, anxiety.
It's a voice in here.
That's the voice that you have? That announcer
quite that
monster
man.
truck voice?
Not quite. Not quite.
It's just this sounds of, your parents didn't love you. Yeah. That's your sister is always gonna do better than you.
You're failing a test on Monday.
You're gonna bomb this set.
Why do I feel like he has like the personality of Lego Batman? Have you guys seen that?
Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I've seen Lego Batman.
I feel like
I don't think Josh would.
Who?
Have you seen Lego Batman?
Oh, it's Will Arnett.
It
Oh,
is.
okay,
It
so
is
you have.
Will Arnett.
Yeah, dude.
I hate Lego Batman's personality.
I just love that you watch Lego Batman. I just watch Human Batman because that shit fucking slaps, dude. I'm all about Batman. I cannot wait to see Robert Pattinson.
Human Batman's too edgy for Natalie.
I've never seen Human Batman. I've only seen the Lego version.
You've never seen Batman Begins? You never seen like the Michael Keaton Batman?
I have to blow my nose so badly.
Yeah,
Can
you
someone
sound.
give me a tissue?
You sound very hay fevery.
I got the goddamn motherfucking stupid ass booster.
Oh God, I thought you were about to say like I got the fucking corona, and I was like, we need to get this done to be released by Friday. So fuck it, we're all in.
Paul, perfect Paul.
Paul is such a good dude.
Paul is perfect. I wish he wasn't a Capricorn. Otherwise,
You really just wrote him off like that?
no.
I like how perfect Paul. He's amazing, but he's a Capricorn, so I don't really like him that much.
I'm gonna turn away.
Natalie, you have so many layers. Like, you're so rock and roll, like on the outside, and yet you have this like very like like astrological creamy center. Hate Batman.
I do have a creamy center. You're right.
It's like, how can you hate Human Batman?
How can I? I don't hate Human Batman. I don't
She
watch.
just really
superhero
loves
movies.
Lego Batman.
And I babysit a lot, and that's what happens. The Lego Batman, you know.
You know what you should show the kids? 2 movies.
Okay.
And one of them, I feel like, being that this is about help, I feel like this movie will really, it's good for the
Please.
kids. The kids will like it. And then
Yes.
you can learn a lot from it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Please.
Babe, about the talking pig.
Pig.
It's, dude, keep it. Every time you say it, people are like, "Ugh," and it was nominated for Best Picture.
I love the passion that you have.
I wrote a 12-page paper, my senior thesis in film iconography, about how it's really about like social society and social norms and about like your ego and all of this stuff.
Isn't this Animal Farm? Like,
It's not Animal Farm, because Animal Farm is more about government.
yeah.
Babe is nothing like I've never seen Babe, and I know for a fact it is nothing like George Orwell's Animal Farm.
Yeah, he's.
Well, which side are you on? I don't know which side you're more passionate about.
Yeah, man. Why are you screaming at Dylan?
I love Dylan.
Dylan's he's just talking about another pig movie.
I love pigs. I love pigs.
That's why you're dating one.
I love pigs.
Boom!
Yeah.
Sorry, that was too easy. It was a
Dylan, that was good.
We did look at pig pussy yesterday on Rap, so
You
know,
did.
I think it was his idea to look at the pig.
Wait, you guys were looking at actual pig
We were
pussy?
looking at animal pussies and seeing if we could identify what the animal was from the pussy that we saw.
If I
color.
listened to every episode of Rap, I would.
You have PTSD.
You would have a podcast called Suicide.
I give up. I give up with Natalie Cuomo.
I would just be sad all the time.
Oh, for sure. That's why I had to leave Rap after a while. Like, working on Rap is fun. And it's like it's a lot of energy. It's 3 days a week, but then there's times you're like, all right, this is a lot of energy. This is a lot of negativity in here.
Yeah.
Rap is always like, you're fucking stupid, really? You really did that? I'm like, all right.
Yeah, but there's love behind his.
No,
calling
it's
you
love. I love
stupid.
it. But my thing is that I can't look at the pig pussies or the poking eyeballs or the mutated things because I happen to have a little tiny drop of empathy.
For For animal pussies?
For animal pussies.
She can feel animal pussies.
The
That's what
thing
empathy is.
I've had a little, animal pussies, they feel things like human pussies do.
For sure.
So I feel bad for them when they're dismangled.
No, but we're not looking at like the disfigured. We're looking at grade A deer
Alive pig pussy.
I like to start my
Live.
podcast asking the best advice you've ever received. Josh, do you want to go first?
pussy. She was like, enough of the big. Well, I mean, the best advice that I've ever received, I received it, I think, later in life, and it's a meme that people associate with.
The best advice you ever received is a meme.
It's a meme
sent it to him.
that people
From Dylan.
Well, it's basically this. No, it's a meme that people have taken because it's actually Lao Tzu, which is like the Tao Te Ching. It's this old Chinese like philosopher that wrote this book, and people now have taken it and applied it to Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee said it in an interview like many, many years ago, but it's just be water. But basically what that means is just go with the flow. Don't fight the current. You just, you can't control things. Don't try to push against the energy. If an energy is pushing you one way, you can't push against it. You're just going to be fighting that, and that's only going to cause trauma and anxiety and depression because I can't control you. You can't control me. I can't make you do something. And so the reason I found it was, so I got in this really, really bad car accident in 2012, and I was in the hospital for about 2 weeks. And everybody, all the comics that came to visit me brought me books, but they brought me like the autobiography of Richard Pryor. They bought me, just like light reading. And Andy Dick's son, Lucas Dick, who was a comic that I had started with in the open mic scene in LA, brought me this book called The Tao of Pooh. And he said to me, he goes, listen, man, this book helped me when I needed answers. And so I'm going to give it to you. And he's like, and I want it back. And I go, thanks, man, totally. And I was all fucked up on like Oxy. So I just like, when I got out of the hospital, I just took the book and like threw it in my place. And I didn't look at it again until about 6 or 7 years later. And
He's like, I want that book back.
Well, luckily he quit comedy, so I didn't have to see him ever again. I think I did reach out to him because when I actually ended up reading it, I read it within 2 or 3 days. It's a very easy read, and it's basically the Tao Te Ching in a very easily digestible format of stories involving Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, and Tigger, and like all the characters.
Oh, it's that kind of poo.
Yes, not poo-poo. Yeah. I have to always feel that. I have to explain. It's not about shit, everybody.
Dylan, what were you thinking of?
I thought it was just an Asian guy named Pooh.
I thought it was poop.
I thought it was just like an Asian dude. That's his name. Pooh.
I mean,
Poe.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Winnie the Pooh was actually from South Korea.
Josh,
I'm just kidding.
You would be the person to know that, though.
Also, I like that how you explained it because Be Water was gonna be one of mine. I was trying to think of like what would my most like. I'm young, so I've been given a lot of advice. but I'm still working on seeing it all become a thing.
Yeah.
Be Water is great. Be Water, like I watched the Bruce Lee movie on the way back from Skankfest on the flight, and just Be Water is amazing. It's like put water in a cup, it becomes the cup. And like also when you go on stage, thinking about like being water, like when I'm with like Derek and Dave, like it's just interesting like with like crowd work. Crowd work is just being water. It's just receiving, putting it back out, and there's a lot of like even when I did your show like last Saturday? Saturday, yeah. Like it was just fun watching the crowd be like pull back and in and out and be like, no, we're all gonna have fun here together. Like there's not like a me telling you guys things. It's just like we're kind of all at this event together. It's like I feel like Be Water and like that whole idea of just going with the flow, enjoying every moment, and like enjoying each fucking moment as its own thing is it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many interpretations of Be Water because I like that, you guys. Because it's go with the flow. It's also this idea of like it's acceptance. It's like you can't change anything. You can only control yourself. You can change the container you're in. So you just have to go with it and take that shape. And I like that.
Well, just think about how many times in our lives that we've been upset about things that are happening or things that people have done or just whatever, and you're just like you don't want to like accept it because it just doesn't fit your narrative of what you want and what you're trying to do. and it could be a person you're dating, it could be your parents, it could be a booker, applying it to especially applying it to a career. It's just, like you'll be like, how does that person get this? I don't understand it. Like I'm this and I deserve, and why not me? And it's like when you start even answering those questions, not even doing like a physical activity, it's like all you're doing is just pushing against what the truth is and what is actually happening, instead of thinking of like, okay, well that's their thing or that's how they feel, but I can't convince them otherwise. So I just have to accept that reality. And
this past year has been me accepting that people just don't want to like look inward at themselves and deal with it. Like I'm writing on this joke right now. I'm just working on this one bit where it's growing up is realizing your sister sucks, and that's okay. Like I love my older sister. She's not a bad person by any means. It's just when we hang out, there's a different level of like what I'm trying to do with my life and what you're trying to do with your life. And then if I fuck up or I have like an anxiety attack, I look inward immediately. And if I say to my sister, like her name's Dara, I'll be like, Dara, but what if you did it like this? Why do you feel so scared and anxiety around your boyfriend when he like loves you? She's like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. This is giving me more anxiety. And it's just like it's like being. It's also with being water. It's looking inward. It's having that power to go. Okay, what do I want to do? What makes me happy? Like you were talking about the jam before here. That's also taking time to go. What's making me happy? What isn't making me happy? What can I do to make more things make me happy? Like the jam is literally you being water 24/7.
Yeah, dude, flowing.
Getting in your flow where time doesn't exist anymore.
And it's true because I don't know if you know this, when I first met you, Josh walked into here just exactly how he's dressed today, had no idea who he is. He walked in, he goes, "You want a Thai iced tea?" And I go, "Yeah." And he runs upstairs, he grabs one, and I just turn to Alex, I go, "Who's that?" She goes, "Oh, that's Josh Adam Meyers. Like, he's the best."
Joshy.
And then they brought me up they told me about the goddamn comedy jam. Still have no idea, like, why everyone who talks about it, they go, the jam. Like, there's like a moment of lull, of like, we're talking about the jam right now? We're talking about the jam? And I didn't understand it until you get the Skank Fest. Yeah. And we're all sitting on the sidelines, and I turn to Jay, I go, "Oh, this is his thing." They go,
"It's just easy."
So, Josh, let's catch everyone up, all the listeners that may or may not know what the goddamn comedy jam is. Like, lay it down, like your elevator pitch of what goddamn comedy jam is.
So, goddamn comedy jam is where comics do stand up, then they tell a story about a song that they chose, and then they sing that cover song with a live band. Not like people always like it's like karaoke. I'm like, yeah, it's just
it's not though,
because karaoke is some like 55-year-old woman in a bar in like New Brunswick, being like, "Should I sing it? I'm gonna die," and then they do a shot and they sing a horrible version of like, "I Believe I Can Fly" by R. Kelly. But the jam started as really, like, in a sense, we're talking about being water. It was like I was so frustrated with my career after I did New Faces in Montreal in 2013, where I, just like I said, I fought I couldn't understand why I did so well at the showcase, and I wasn't getting a better agent, I wasn't getting a manager, and nobody knew what to do with me. So instead of just repeating the same thing and doing what I had been doing, which was working, but it wasn't making me happy, I was like, well, what will make me happy? And another good advice that is just put love into everything. Like
yes.
it's kind of a variation of that. But it's do the work, but stay out of the results. It's a 12-step program. Like I did have so many good 12-step programs. Like your ego is not your amigo. I have so many.
Well, let's not go too far, Josh.
It's a solid list, Natalie. I have a solid list of
I
little
feel that you should put love into everything. I feel that's something that I love about Dylan. You're such a positive person. Like, I recorded my podcast yesterday and I was in such a shit mood and I felt so bad, and like literally just the smallest thing, you like tap me and you're like, "Hey, it was good. I listened to some of it and I was like, I loved it." Like that.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out, because I'm young. I'm still trying to figure out, like, I do want to always be happy, and there's this thing of like other comics being like, "Oh no, we're gonna try to take that from you," and I feel that, and it's a weird thing of, it's weird being. Trying to be always happy, but also dealing with your own things. Like when you go home, like I still have my own problems. I still have my own like depressions and anxieties. But it's when I go out and about, I try to be the happiest person. I do genuinely get a kick out from making other people happy. So when I'm sitting here editing, listening to Natalie's podcast, and like you said, stay out of the results. She's coming out, living in the results, going, it was shit. It was a bad episode. It was this. And I'm like, no, you did it. It was a good episode. I'm sitting here listening to it. You're the creator. Then you're just diving right into the results.
Right.
That is a great advice as a creator is once the project's done, put it out, walk the fuck away.
Yeah, it's like
put it out.
Yeah, you can't
walk the fuck away.
If you constantly are like, you'll do an audition and you're like, God, I did so good, and it's like, well, what's gonna happen? It's like you have to literally do the audition, be proud of what you did, and then just go. All right, it's not in my hands. I might not look the way of the part that they envision. I might have said something wrong, or I might have misread the character a little bit. But whatever. It's like whatever you're putting out, you have to be proud of. Do you know what I mean? You don't just because if you put love into it, like the jam is 100% me just so happy and like in a place of like
it's very fucking fun. It's like the most fun shit ever. That's the thing. Everyone at Skankfest wants to go to the goddamn that was one of the most fun parts of Skankfest. It is so fucking fun. That was an epic. Like I have fucking goosebumps. It was epic, right?
Oh, for sure.
Well, it's because it's like it's love. There's love. The band, the band that I think
the band is particularly like I think that's something that people don't talk about. The band is a very specific and particular important element.
I didn't realize until like seeing it in person is.
That was the first time you saw it at
in person. Mm-hmm. First time I ever seen it.
Really?
Yeah, dude. But it's
Josh is like, wow, no.
No, I could have sworn you saw it in October when we did it at what's it called? You came when we did it at the Cellar.
I came to see it at the Cellar after Skankfest.
Oh, okay.
I came because remember Shane did the same. He did the same song a week later that he did at Skankfest, and he read the same sheet and everything. And Josh isn't gonna say it, but it's him. It's like Josh is the reason the jam is so different and fun. Is even if like the crowd's a little like down, like not down, but like someone will go up there like start singing. Josh will just walk on stage and go, "Get the fuck up! We're here to have fun. Let's go."
No, I know now. I know, and I've known for years. No ego. Even though this is my ego talking. The other people have done this show. It wasn't like I didn't know that when I created it. I had the idea back in 2008, 2009, and then I sat on it, and we did like a really weird version of it in 2011, like early or I think it was either early 2011 or late 2010 at this little like coffee shop / had like a there'd be like acoustic guys playing like sad songs and shit. And we had TJ Miller and some other dudes on, Adam Devine, but it wasn't until 2014 where I was I don't know what to do. I got this idea and I was good. I was actually prepared to move here. I remember I called all the bookers and I was like, yo, I think I'm going to move to New York. And they were like, nah, well, if you come out here, we'll get you spots. We can't like work you. You're not going to be able to make a living at it yet, but we'll be able to work you. And I was like, okay. And then somebody said, I want to do a show with you. And I go, all right. I got this idea and I threw it to him and then he was like, he's like, let's do it. It sounds great. And I'm like, it'll never work because there's so many shows in LA. And then the next day I run into Bill Burr at the Comedy Store, who I had met at the theater that I kind of conceived the show and I used to jam with him. And he came up to me. It was almost like the universe was kind of like trying to steer me in this direction because my buddy Angelo that had passed away in that car accident would always, we jammed together and we were so connected. And he would always say, he's like, you're great at stand-up. You seem happy doing stand-up, but there is a difference in your energy when you're doing music. And even when you're singing on stage, you could just tell it's like you're so comfortable. And when you're like a 2-year comic or a 3-year comic, when you first start and somebody, and you're just trying to get comfortable on stage.
I was going to say, being comfortable is such a huge, like, that's literally all, like, I'm 4 years into comedy. Every day, every set's just, go be comfortable. Go be water. Go be comfortable.
Just don't give a, it's so hard to say don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But that's all it is.
It's the art of not giving
a fuck. Stand up,
100%.
Stand up is 100% not giving a fuck what the audience thinks, and like
fuck you guys. I don't care what you think. You didn't like my episode?
But that's rock and roll, Natalie. That was fun.
That's rock and roll,
Natalie. Unfortunately, it's over a bed of.
You know what, Josh? I would love. You're a musician.
You want me to write a song for you? I'll write a song for you. It'll take like 8 minutes.
Write
Dude,
me a
I write
song.
fucking hits, bro.
Right now.
In 3 minutes.
Will you write me a
You're
song?
gonna be like, help with Natalie Cuomo.
Oh, help.
help. You know she needs
Help.
Don't get FOMO. Help. You know she's Natalie Cuomo. Help. When she was younger, she developed anxiety. And something. We'll figure it out from there.
No, keep going.
Well, I mean, all right. Help Natalie if you can. Bound. She's gonna book Big J. Okerson and Dylan. Bound. Help Natalie Cuomo in the end. Won't you please let go dog? Hey, baby. Something like that. It's like, come on, man. You're missing a perfect opportunity.
Oh,
It's pretty
my
good.
God.
It's pretty solid. Anything
All right.
along those lines, you can just use that.
You know what? I'm fucking convinced. What am I doing?
Paul, add some
doing?
techno
Well,
to that and make it a new intro.
You know what? It's there's so many.
Help.
She needs somebody.
Help. She needs somebody. Help. Not anybody. Help. Not anyone. Help. 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 Help.
Anxiety.
Help. Help. Help.
No,
Help.
this
Anxiety.
is giving me anxiety.
Help. Just breathe into the nose, out through the mouth.
Help.
But the jam, and this is ultimately what I was trying to get to, is the jam was like when I started it, and people were like, we did the first show, and everybody was like, dude, this is gonna blow up, and I was like, whatever happens, happens. I'm just having fun doing it. I love doing it, and I'm putting it out there. And on the next show, half of the main industry decision makers in LA were there, Comedy Central and people from NBC and CW and bookers for festivals. And it was just the buzz kept going. And you know, that you can get caught up in that and then start getting frustrated. But even I remember when we were getting like television show offers.
I was going to say, not to bring it up, because I know it's no longer around, but like, you guys had a TV show. The goddamn comedy
and
show.
we're going to
had
have it again. There's stuff quite possibly in the works. Not
Guys,
saying
you better
there's a
follow.
TV show.
You better follow Josh. Big things are coming.
It's not that, but here's the thing: is that we never got to do it right, and I don't even know if it's going to be a TV show. But I have the rights to it, and I think there's going to be something else because there's a second life of the show. This is a show that I thought died back in 2000. You know, normally when the TV show gets canceled, most people are like, "All right, well, that's it. You know, we're not going to do it anymore. Why would I waste energy putting into something that might be a moot point?"
Right.
Because that's kind of like the pinnacle of this.
You're like, I got to what I wanted,
Yeah.
the TV show,
Well, I
and then
never
it
wanted it.
not wanted,
but I didn't see. The whole thing was that I just never gave a shit. And I mean, even when Comedy Central was giving so many notes and trying to change it, I fought and fought and fought. But at a certain point, you just have to be water, and you have to be like, all right, well,
what was like a note? Just curious.
I mean, cut me out as much as possible. Like, dude, they wanted lip sync battle more than they wanted the goddamn comedy jam. And because that was what was popular at the time. And I fought and fought and fought. And it ultimately came down to, okay, you either do it our way or you don't have a show. And then I was like, how much are you paying me again? And they were like this. And I was like, let's go. Fucking go. And that's how I got Lekka. And I got my vacuum and Alexis.
My
and,
vacuum.
And I had a whole,
How expensive is your vacuum that is the second thing that comes to your mind?
$600.
Jesus
Wait, do you have the
Christ.
J7 Plus?
You like a
I
Dyson.
had like top of the line
Yeah, like a
Dyson
Dyson,
for
yeah.
2017. It was right now it's already gone now because I sold it to Avery and he said it was too stinky, so he threw it out. I mean, I
Why
cleaned
would
it.
you? This
'Cause
is
I was
crazy.
moving.
The
I was
vacuum was
moving.
that nice that you sold it to a friend.
Have you ever used a Dyson? That's actually the best advice I could give you is go buy,
Go buy a Dyson. That's actually
If
solid
you don't-
advice.
No.
It is.
I don't know if you know. My boyfriend's Christmas present to me was a vacuum,
What kind was it?
a Roomba.
Okay. That's lazy
He got
shit,
her
though.
a vacuum that she
That's lazy
doesn't
shit. That's
need
like
to
that means,
use.
dude. There's a pleasure. Why are you laughing so hard?
Her present is something that she just has to press a button and
Like,
walk away from.
here you
It's a
go,
Roomba.
baby. Here you go, baby.
Here's the-
Vacuum my
you go,
floor.
you
We live
dust-ass
together.
bitch.
Yeah.
I feel like a Dyson would have been better. It's like, all right, let's have an activity. You
Oh, babe, at
you
least I
can-
can put on this outfit and I can watch you vacuum at the very least.
No, it's
yeah.
hey,
Put
it's
on
hey
this outfit,
baby,
let me
can you
watch you
press
press this
this button? I'm assuming the Roomba also lives at his home.
Well, we live together.
Yeah, it's a good present.
My Christmas gift was also a vacuum.
Really?
Yeah.
Paul,
Can you believe that?
why didn't you ever tell me? What kind?
The Shark.
Which kind? What is it? What,
I don't know. It's called the Shark.
pull up a picture.
Pull up a picture of everyone's vacuum
We
cleaners.
don't have internet right now.
Oh,
You don't have
my
internet?
God.
No.
Wow, that's crazy.
Just only Paul. Paul's the only person around here that doesn't have internet.
That's
Everyone
crazy.
else.
So,
Yeah.
okay, I want to talk more about. I feel like a big part of being successful in comedy or finding, reigniting like a spark of joy in an otherwise kind of dark space sometimes.
You're saying the dark space is stand-up comedy or the industry?
The
and just what we're
industry,
working
the
with?
industry, like the industry can be like a little heartbreaking occasionally.
Occasionally, you haven't been doing this long enough. It's nonstop heartbreak.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, anyway, so I feel that it's important to like to bring other passions into your craft, right? So you're bringing like, for example, you're bringing like music in, or a lot of people bring podcasting in, or like other niches, right? Like Dylan, I feel like what are other things that you bring into your act that like you have that passion for that you are like water with?
I've been trying to do more like act outs and trying to be more animated on stage. Like I was doing stuff at Skankfest I thought was like really animated and more fun. And it is weird what the industry is. Going on the road with like Jay and hanging out with Jay made me realize, even at the Cellar, made me realize of like, you can get to be the nicest, biggest, most lovable comic. The industry will still be there to like kind of like, man, I'm just gonna kind of keep fucking with you and keep fucking with your image. Like they changed his name of his show like after like 2 weeks.
Well, they had to. No, they had to because the Nasty Show was a blatant copyright infringement on.
Oh, really?
On JFL's The Nasty Show.
Oh,
and
that's funny.
I got texts from the JFL people because I'm friends with Nick.
Did he know?
Oh, they saw it. They literally stole the flyer. They literally stole the
purpose?
logo. No, it was just lazy advertising. Whoever just was like, it's the Nasty Show. So they went online, probably Googled the Nasty Show.
And then just found the first
picture,
thing, yeah.
Jay's picture, the logo,
Did
everything.
Jay know?
Not until so what happened was I got the text from Nick, and Nick's like the head booker for JFL. It's a really close friend of mine, and he was like, yo, you're on this, and I go, oh shit, I didn't realize that they were just doing that, and I know the Mint people too from doing the jam with them.
Yeah.
So then I sent it to Jay, and then me and Jay kind of then both went to Mustafa, who's a good dude, and that's why they changed it. Because they had to. It's like that was lazy. That was a lazy. It's called something filthy. It's like, but you have a brand. So there's a show right now in Los Angeles that my buddy Ryan Sickler told me. They offered him like a good amount of money to headline this show at the Troubadour, and they're calling it the Comedy Jam. And Ryan's turning it down because it's close enough. Now, I have people that have asked me to use the name because they want to do their version of it. Mm-hmm. And I say no, but I can't stop them. I'm not going to sue them. I don't give a fuck. And regardless, they could try to do it, but they're not going to do what I do. Like, so please try to do it. It will suck.
Right.
Because people have fucking, I'm not going to name certain names, but it's just, yeah, dude. It's like, so the Nasty Show is basically the same as the Filthy Show. But it's like, once you have a brand, you build a brand.
Yeah, you're trying to build that brand. Yeah.
That's like, you can't take it.
You've been doing comedy for a while now. Is there anyone in your heart that you just hate them? Like, you just fucking hate them?
No, I do not. I don't hate anybody. Hate is like the strongest of strong words. And there have been, people that I have had problems with.
Yeah.
And but it's always over something stupid.
Yeah.
Where it was like either my ego was stopping the friendship or blaming them for something, or they were taking out something on me. I don't like you when you get upset in this business. It's winning. It's trying to break you down. Like this is a business that is built on no. You're gonna get more no's than you're gonna get yeses in this.
But those yeses mean so much.
I mean, but here's but Natalie, it's like, and this is like.
Pardon me.
No, please blow. Help! Blowing her nose. Help! She needs a tissue. Help! You know she's Natalie Cuomo. Help!
I think we're okay, but I don't know if there's a bug, and it's just all very stressful.
Dude, if I get COVID from you for a third time.
I got the booster. I hope I get COVID.
Third time. If you give it to me for a third time, I'd be excited because I get a free smoothie then.
Really?
If you get COVID 3 times, you get a free smoothie.
Is there a bug?
No, you look good.
No, you look good. The Discord's gonna love it.
But it's also, I can only imagine when you do blow your nose, your little nose ring goes.
Are there? It blows in the wind. What were you saying?
You're talking about hate.
Yeah. It's not. I've never I don't hate anyone in comedy. It's just that I feel like this is. It's just like it's a heavy space. And I also want to ask you another question, for both of you. Mm-hmm. Where do you draw the line between as people that do podcasts that are pretty open about your personal life and in your act, or in podcasts? Where do you draw the line about how personal to get and how much to share? And have you ever overshared and regretted it and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, you wanna go?
I've definitely overshared and regretted it, especially when I started podcasting. I just got off of doing real ass podcasts, and I was just I'm gonna tell them every fucking thought I have. So there's definitely 10 episodes of Doped Up and Dying that are no longer on my YouTube.
Oh,
really?
There's not 10, but there's the early episodes. There's a couple I just went through, and I was there's just no need for this to be an episode. It was just a very obviously trying hard, and you're just going over the top, and it's always really weird starting podcasts. And so it's I've definitely said things where I'm good on that, and yeah, it's just weird. How about you?
I've been doing. My mom is very you ask my mom, how's your day? She's oh, my back is killing me, and I blew my ACL out cooking lasagna last night. She's just she tells you too much. And, in a sense, we're always kind of becoming our parents. You don't realize it, but there's things, they've imprinted things into you, and you have disorder. A lot of the problems.
It's their fault.
Yes, but also you can.
No.
If you can identify that you're doing it now.
No.
You can't identify?
No, it is. Yeah.
Because how old are you? How old are you anyway?
Yes.
How old are you? Are you 20? You're in your 20s, I'm assuming.
Can you guess?
I hate this game.
Please.
I'd say
say way too old.
No, just guess. Guess. The only reason I'm making you guess is because I say my age so often.
26.
27. That was good, though.
Okay.
Solid guess.
How old are you?
42.
Really?
42. Yeah.
Huh. And he's 24.
I'm an oldie. But I got a young soul.
Yeah.
But so my mom was the kind of person that she just overshares, and I had that problem. I still do sometimes, and I have to consciously make an effort to not do it because, you know, I could be on an elevator and people are like, dude, it's beautiful weather today. And I'd be like, dude, it's gorgeous outside. And I'm going through opiate detox. Whoa, all right, that's a lot. So I think there's... as far as
I do the same shit. I went into Best Buy to buy a fucking phone charger, and I was like, "You have a phone charger? Also, my dog just threw up in my car. Do you guys know how to clean seats? I just have a problem."
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just gotta pick and choose the people that you are open with.
Yeah, the Best Buy people, the GameStop people, they're all very nerdy and they love to hang.
Yeah. They would probably be like, but also here's the thing, is Natalie, you're hot, so you can go to anybody.
Andrew at GameStop, he loves to hang.
I bet they fucking.
I'm sure he does.
I bet they go to your GameStop and be like, "Listen, Natalie, I threw an extra remote control in there. Boy, you got 3 more controls. No, you bought 2.
He's like, you know what? I think I might have a pre-owned copy in the back.
You take my personal copy.
I put Akram City Part 2 in the back.
Take my game save.
Meet me around back. I got you, girl. I got you. You want a full Nintendo 64? I got a new Nintendo 65.
Both my parents are polar opposites, where one's very closed off and one overshares. So it's I find that in my own life where my personality is either just polar opposites. If I'm happy, fucking happy, let's make everyone happy. But if I'm upset,
Right.
I'm taking everyone down with me. We're all gonna be upset. We're all gonna be sad, and we're all gonna be upset. It's a very weird thing where it's I'm constantly fighting just to be in the middle. Bless you. I'm constantly fighting just to be in the middle, where it's having fun, and if something annoys you or pisses you off, not going all the way to the deep end of no, now my ego is getting into this, and I gotta make a stand, gotta say something. But
why are you getting pissed off though?
Ego, come on, ego always comes, especially with comedy. You can be out and I could be doing a show with another young comic, and someone I did a show on Sunday. I did really well at Black Ass Comedy Show on Sunday with Dave and Derek. They do on Brooklyn Comedy Club, and I had a really good set. Dave and Derek even said it's an MLK miracle. You did really well tonight. I got off stage, and now I'm literally just celebrating. Derek comes out and he goes, "Oh, he's celebrating. Enjoy your celebration. Enjoy your celebration, young bull." And I'm just sitting there enjoying a beer, and this other young comic comes up to me and goes, no one's going to say it to you, but you bombed. And I go, oh, really?
Who the fuck said that to you?
And I go, oh, really? And,
oh my God.
And I'm celebrating. Everyone's coming up to me. But I'm close with Dave and Derek, and they understand like how the dynamic is. So I go, I don't even blush or anything. Instead of getting angry and being like, who the fuck? I just go, oh, you're right. I go, you know what? I bombed. Let's get you a spot on the show. If I go to Derek right now and say, he told me I bombed, let's get this young comic on the show. And he goes, nah, man, I'm heading home right now. I'm just heading home. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go get Derek right now so we can get you a set. And I start walking towards the showroom, and I see him start walking towards the door. And it's just like that weird idea of like, you're going to talk shit and try to get a rise out of me.
Yeah.
But that's like the second I'm like, okay, go prove yourself. Like, go do it on stage. He doesn't want to do that. So it's a weird thing of like, I get mad and like, I'm still young in comedy. I'm only 4 years, and like even then, I don't like counting my first 2 years because those were doo-doo. So it's like,
but it's all failure. It's all you're supposed to learn what not to do so you can know what to do when you figure out what to do.
When's the last time you got mad at after a set? Not after a set.
I'm still hypercritical.
Of yourself.
Oh my God. Like I'm never, even when people are saying like you kill, I never think I killed. I'm always breaking down the one thing that went wrong, and I'm always like, here's the main thing, because I literally just went through another big change in my life where the last like month, I've been on the road. I've been having, I made this move from LA to New York, and I go back to LA where I'm a regular at all the clubs, and the Comedy Store loves me and takes care of me, and I was like, well, I want to move out here to be, because I really want to work on more personal stuff. I want to do a one-man show in Edinburgh, which I've been working on, and talking about all this trauma, and I have all these great stories and blah 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 blah. So I move out here, and the first like 4 or 5 months from May until about September, October, it was like, I was so grateful that I would be walking down the street to my apartment, which I love, with my dog, or just like coming off a night of like doing 6-7 shows at all clubs, all paid, and being like, and looking up at the universe and being so grateful and saying thank you. I'm like, I'm so happy. And then some things have happened, and you realize that it doesn't make a difference what city you're in. There's still shitty clubs and shitty bookers, and there's still going to be the same issues that you dealt with there. And so then it started becoming a little bit harder. Also, it started getting cold, which I haven't had a winter in 14 years. So you start getting a little depressed, and then, you're not as happy. And I wasn't and all that gratitude I had started leaving. So then I started like not really having, I wasn't getting the exact shows that I felt like I deserved at certain places. And then you start becoming judgmental, and then you look at the lineups and you're like, this person has 6 shows here tonight, and you're just getting frustrated.
Lineups drive me crazy because also like younger comics love to like promote their lineups on like Instagram. Yeah. So because I follow so many young comics and other things of comedy, I'm just constantly getting ads for shows that I'm not on.
Yeah.
And that's the best.
Block or mute.
You gotta mute.
So I started like, and this is the funny thing is that like I've been a very big believer in like meditation, and I've been doing it for 4 years. I go to a spiritual advisor.
You learned from
Pooh, but after the Pooh book, I had.
And really quick before you say that, because this touches on like no matter how successful you get, you always think you could do better. I was watching the Jim Gaffigan, his new special last night, and he literally has a line in it where he goes, Jim Gaffigan, wow, that looks cool.
I'm adding the ambiance.
He goes, Jim Gaffigan, the most underrated comedian in America. And it was one thing I learned from having dated 2 comedians in serious relationships is that when comedians make jokes, they're not kidding. And I feel that he meant that he thinks he's underrated.
Sure. I bet you Gaffigan, his ego leads him to think that, like, well, why does Burr and Chappelle and all these other guys are the ones that they're holding up as these great, these are the greatest
And in my
voices.
head, I'm like, so Lewis's son, James Gaffigan, is his favorite comedian in the world. He listens to he knows all the jokes by heart. He loves Jim Gaffigan and I grew up watching Jim Gaffigan with my dad. Like, he's an amazing comedian.
But isn't that wild? How old is James? Like under 10? He's 9, right? Like Josh, I'm 24, and like, you've been doing comedy. You were doing the jam in 2008 when I was a little boy in Florida. Like
you're old, Josh.
Like surviving a hurricane. No, but it took me. I'm a
still date 24-year-olds.
I don't know. I went like this, like we're dating.
So they're pretty good with it.
You're dating Dylan?
Me and Dylan are fucking, yo.
Yeah, we're in a throuple, me, him, and Corinne.
Yeah,
No, but it's interesting. I always say this, like, but it took me this long because I got into comedy, became a fan of comedy, started working with comedy, and then I found Josh Adam Meyers. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and then the goddamn Comedy Jam came on my map, and then I'm going to the shows, and then now I'm a fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it took you committing to it for all those years. So it's funny, like Jim Gaffigan, he may feel like, oh, I'm the most underrated comic, but he's gonna keep working, and then in 7 years, when everyone in James's class is like, he's the GOAT, all of a sudden he's just gonna have this giant new audience. He's gonna go like, oh wow, I've just been working for all these years. And it's the same thing. Like, I'm sure if you're doing the TV show again or whatnot, I guarantee you the TV show is gonna do better this time. Like it's almost 100%.
I mean, the
fact.
We do it in whatever way we do it. Next time we do it, we're gonna do it the way
right
that the show is.
Josh, if you put me on the show, it'll succeed.
That's what people have been saying.
If you put me on the show, it will succeed.
She has to sing help. Help.
Yeah, that's what you have to sing.
You know what? I was the. Let me just pitch myself very briefly.
Okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off earlier. We were talking about meditation, but let me tell you, I was the lead in every single musical. I was a theater kid growing up. Okay, I played Team Moon and Once on This Island, Pippin and Pippin. Okay, Ado Annie in Oklahoma. I've got pipes. Okay.
Natalie, people always shit on me for my happiness and my confidence, and I finally get it. God damn, that was awful. Oh my God. I don't care. I'm joking, Natalie. Don't get sad on me. Sadly.
Dylan is one of the only people that's nice to me here at Gas.
No, someone.
Everybody loves you.
I'm kidding.
Natalie sent me can I tell them the screenshot you sent me of a comment of the?
Yeah, I don't remember what it is, but sure.
No, the one of like someone commented on our podcast that was like, Natalie's the female Dylan, and like ever since then, every
People
little thing is hilarious.
Yeah, people commented a lot.
It is funny thinking of us as the same person. I was like, I'm just Natalie with a wig. Like Natalie's just me with a wig.
I mean, I kind of see it.
Natalie's a Rubik's Cube. We said this on No Need for Apologies. Like, she has so many layers and sides, and you just sit there and you start, like, turning it, and you're like, oh, tattoos. Oh, anxiety. Oh, comedy. Oh, she also produces. And like, you're like, oh, wow, there's so many things. Meditating is a weird, I just started getting into meditating. I was going to throw it back to your Pooh.
Pooh, I didn't learn meditation through Pooh. Pooh started an existential breakthrough. So
Pooh and Camus.
Pooh.
A little Camus with Pooh. Let's read some Start with a Fart. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Are you gonna preachy Nietzsche?
Oh,
that's like, he's a little darker though.
Yeah, but okay, a little bit of an inspiration.
Well, so.
Are you a little pesky, Dostoevsky?
What is happening?
It's fucking. This is like.
Oh, don't be
like a philosophy
hip
hip
hop. Boy, Tolstoy. All right, I'm done. You know what? I'll tell you. I shouldn't have got into comedy. I shouldn't have. I used to be smart.
You still, dude. Keep reading and keep applying all of that.
Everyone talks to me. Can I tell you, Josh, Dylan? Everyone talks to me like I'm dumb all the time, and I'm really. It's part of being with Lewis. Sorry.
It is funny.
But it's true. Everyone talks to me like I'm dumb. It's really annoying. Like, constantly. They will talk to me like I'm fucking retarded and dumb. It's like I'm a smart person. Like, I'm incapable of everything.
I think it's not that I would have never thought you were, I would never say you're stupid or dumb or anything. I just think you're quiet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think when people are quiet, like off stage, on stage, you do whatever, that's where you impress people and you can really let out your personality and show your intelligence of your perspectives of how either your jokes or your humor. But when you're just like, that's a problem that society has, is that you're not out there talking a bunch, that people are like, oh, they probably don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
I feel that way sometimes too, where it's like my on stage and my off stage. It just depends. Sometimes I'm very comfortable off stage and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I've pulled back my energy or I want to, it usually happens when it's people that I really want them to like me, which is like
when you're quiet.
Well, no, it's just this is something I've been working through for years. Is that I never before the car accident ever censored myself, or I would just talk, and it would get me into trouble sometimes because I didn't think about the reaction for something that I was saying. And then I get into the car accident, and the car accident basically changed everything about me because I never had like depression or issues with people or making connections or anything, but I was just I created a narrative after the car accident of what people thought about me from the reaction of like how people were there up front, and then when they thought I was okay, they all just went away. Because it went from like everybody texting you like, are you okay? You want to go out to lunch, blah, blah, blah. And then I, get out of the hospital. I started doing stand-up again, and I'm on so much opiates. And everybody's just like, oh, he's fine. And then they're just gone. And so then I'm left alone. And then when you're alone and you're not communicating with a therapist or somebody to talk to that has
you can be your own worst enemy immediately.
Exactly. Because you're going to you're going to let that,
And then you're going to push it into reality. You're going to think that that's like the actual reality is. It's funny. We're talking about the jam. I was on more mushrooms than I've ever been in my life when you called me on. I don't think I told you this. Higher than I've ever been in my life. Yeah. There's 2,000 people screaming, and Josh goes, Dylan, get up here. And I'm literally freaking out, like behind my eyes, like smiling, freaking out. And it's crazy because at the jam, I had in a sense, a revelation where I'm looking out at this crowd and I'm enjoying the jam and I'm high on stage and I'm like watching the show happen. Like I'm on stage, but I'm watching the show happen. And there was a moment where I was like, wait, how am I watching the show happen? Like, where am I sitting in the crowd watching the show? And I was like, oh wait, I'm not in the crowd. I'm on stage. And it was like, and it was a weird
drugs.
Wow.
Wow.
And it was like a weird thing where I love it because it forced me to realize where I was like, part of me wanted to get off and be like, you don't belong here. And then the other part of me was like, oh no, you're here. You belong here. Like you're meant to be here. So it's like your own mind can either be like the reason why you're killing. You're like, oh no, I deserve to be here. Or it can also be the exact reason of like, no, you should get the fuck out of here. You're awful here.
But you're also on mushrooms.
Dude, mushrooms rule.
They do rule, but I mean, you're on a psychedelic drug that's going to affect like the way that you think.
You don't think it enhances?
Dude, I've taken mushrooms by myself before. Like this was like early on in like 1997. I remember.
I was 3.
That's crazy.
I was. What month was it? Because I might have not been born.
It was. I'd say like whenever Alien Resurrection came out. So I'd say like October.
We have internet yet? No.
Alien Resurrection.
I was born October 9th, so you could have been doing it the day I was born.
I remember my buddy. I had an eighth of mushrooms, and I took all of them, and then I sat in my room, and I was upstairs. Like I remember sitting in my bedroom in the dark. I don't think I was listening to music, and I just was like, I don't exist. Like there is nobody named Josh Meyers. Like, I don't exist. And it was like, I really believed it. And then my buddy showed up, and I was like, oh, hey. And they were like, we're going to go see Alien Resurrection. You want to go? And I was like, I mean, I'm tripping balls, but fuck it. And then I went and watched
How old were you?
18.
Oh, so you're in high school or you're in college?
No, I was in junior college. So,
okay.
Yeah, I just got out. I graduated the year before. But
I didn't start doing mushrooms.
Mushrooms will, like, if
ruin your life.
No.
Yes.
No, they will not.
You don't do mushrooms?
No.
I've talked about this on this podcast before, but I had a bad trip when I was in high school, and I won't do them again.
You took too much.
Dude.
You took too much. Like, You they always say, it starts small.
Very small.
I did,
and then work your way up.
Yeah.
You can never take less. Like, once you take more, you're stuck with that dose.
You're stuck.
I have a theory of why.
They do, I mean this and say, think about this. And this is why I'm going to defend them. Is because you can see the medicinal properties of mushrooms, the way that people are using lion's mane and reishi and all that, and it controls the synapses in your brain and reconnects things in your brain. People are using them for PTSD. It helped me. Throughout the pandemic, I took mushrooms almost once a week, and sometimes I would trip, and I had a great dealer, these little like white rhino. Oh my god. Dude, and I like the friendships I built. I'm not going to drop names, but with some huge comics that I've known for years that invited me over once they knew I was taking mushrooms regularly. They're like, I love mushrooms too. And we'd go to their house out in the valley and we just trip balls and build this friendship that was so strong that now it's like after 5 years of knowing the guy, now we're like homies. We're like real brothers.
You do become very close with someone.
Mushrooms make you like head on, like whatever it is that I think for me at least, like whatever's like keeping me back. Mushrooms like, oh no, what you keep running away from, we're putting right in front of your face, and it's also like on to you as like your brain to like get over that. It's like getting over a fear. It's getting over jumping off the high dive at a fucking pool or some shit. And it's like it's interesting to like figure out, like mushrooms made me realize that when I was a kid, I would always say when I get picked on, like when people are like, oh, we're just joking, I'd be like, there's always truth in that. There's always truth in jokes. So you're joking, but you're also saying truth, and that would hurt me, like truth within the joke. And then mushrooms recently made me realize that in my own stand-up, I'm not having enough truth in the jokes. So it's like, okay, same idea of where like that hurt me as a kid. Now it's making me a better comic, where I was even in like Texas with like Derek and Dave, and Dave said the same thing. He goes, well, why do you say that one line? I go, well, it just made me giggle. But he's like, there's no truth in that? Like, you never dated a girl with fake tits before? I go, oh, no. And he goes, oh, then that's why it doesn't come off. Because when you're talking about it and it actually has truth behind it, like a joke that has a little bit of truth always hits harder because everyone immediately knows what you're talking about and it feels real. And it's like, that's like mushrooms makes you head on everything. It's like, not everything, but like the thing that's in your head that's pissing you off. Like, also making friendships over mushrooms is the best. It's
a great drug. I honestly think what you need to do is do them again, but not take a lot. Like take less than a gram. Take
Who'd you
like
do it
0.5.
Like two of my. It's a story that I've told.
Okay.
But I did it with two. First I did it with two friends, and then I did it 2 days later with one friend. I have a very addictive personality.
Okay. I get that. I can tell by the tattoos.
They're like, yeah.
I have an addictive personality. So
Well,
it's actually good.
Don't do fentanyl.
The thing is this, everyone's like, no, do it again. You'll like it. It's actually good
like,
that
I might
don't
love
like
it. I might love it.
It's actually
That's a
good that I
problem.
don't like mushrooms. If I liked mushrooms, I would be bad.
No, it's funny. You're
I don't
saying
think you would be addicted. You
No, you don't get addicted
I don't think
to
it's a drug
mushrooms.
that
Yeah.
you can be addicted
you also
to.
you'll mute it. Like you can't do mushrooms like the day after you do a lot of mushrooms because it just won't be the same.
I used to have nightmares that like I ate mushrooms and then there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to have to trip and like there's nothing I can do about it. Like it was like a very traumatic day.
You were talking about doing mushrooms during the pandemic, and I was thinking about this the other day. I was blown away that I never got like a bad trip during the pandemic, like taking mushrooms by myself and doing shit. I genuinely think the reason I've never had a bad trip when I buy myself mushrooms is just because I'm cheap. I swear I'll spend like $60, $50 on like an eighth and like get a bunch of mushrooms, and I'm like, I'm not wasting this trip. I'm not wasting this next like 3 hours of my life and having a bad time, feeling sorry for myself. So it's like weird when like I'll throw a pity party for myself sober, but if I'm on mushrooms, I'm like, we're gonna enjoy this ride. Like I didn't come to Disney World to sit in the corner and cry how I'm scared about a roller coaster. Like, no, take me to the biggest roller coaster. Let's do this shit. Like, I don't know.
I see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, but first of all, I don't fucking want to trip balls anymore. I just want to fucking heal.
I literally want to. I want to heal. But for me, healing. Okay, I literally want to be a Pokemon that's healing right now. Like I literally want to be going to the little store.
So
and
Josh, Pokemon is a video game.
Are you in therapy?
Yeah.
Do you? I'm trying to think of. Do you ever read The Power of Now?
No, it's been recommended to me.
Have you ever read The Untethered Soul?
No.
Get those 2 books. Get the Tao Poo. I'm being serious.
It's not the first book about poo that's been given to me.
It's. I'm telling you, like, you have everything inside of you, both of you, to be happy. You choose to be depressed.
Why do you think I'm depressed?
Well, because you probably have some trauma that you're holding on to in your pain body, and the pain likes that. There's pain inside of you that likes that feel. Yes, it's
familiar,
exactly, and it feeds off of it, and so your ego is going to bring it up and going to bring up all those things to protect you, so you don't try to do something where that can happen again. Mm-hmm. So you sit in that, and that's like you said, it's comforting, but that voice isn't real.
Which voice?
The negative voice inside of you. It's just a voice.
Scary.
It's not you.
No, I didn't mean because there is no voice.
It's like your voice, Josh, my voice, or the other 7 voices.
You guys hear Paul also.
What I'm saying is that like that's from the Untethered Soul, which is like it really helps you identify when you have this thing in your head that's like telling you the negative thing. It's like you almost have to be it's called like the observer, where you step back from that voice and you see it and you just go, you don't latch onto it, you just go, okay, and you just let it pass. And that's something that you gain from meditating. Meditating is, when people say they start, because at this point it's like there's times where I feel every second of a 20-minute meditation and it feels like an hour. And there's times it goes by like that because I know I do my breathing exercises. I have my mantra and I just can really zone in and be comfortable and see a thought pass through because it's always going to pass through. And I just go, okay. And then it just goes.
You address it.
But when you identify it and you see the thought, it's like you separate yourself from it, which makes it easier for it just to go. If you want to be happy all the time, you can. It's, you're going to get hijacked. You're going to get hijacked. I was hijacked for the last few weeks. But then I started going back to my advisor and I started meditating because my meditation was slipping up when I got COVID. I just was kind of like being lazy about it. And now it's like, this is, you're talking about really good advice. And this is the best advice I can give both of you guys.
Now you're giving it to both of us.
Well, no, I'm giving this to all
Stealing your podcast,
I'm giving
Natalie.
this to all of your listeners. This is the greatest advice
and
that
you
you're
know
ever
that
going to
I have
get.
millions.
You have millions. Then I'm going to help 1 million people right now. Always keep in the back of your mind that you're going to die.
No,
Hear me out.
I know what
This journey is so short.
Yeah.
It is short.
I was your age like that. I'm 42. I'm going to be
True.
60 like that. It's just moving.
True.
It's constantly moving. This is the fun part. This little part that we have, this little tiny morsel that just keeps going. This is what you're supposed to enjoy.
Yeah.
So why not enjoy it? So why not, when you go on stage, just go, I want to do this. Go up and have fun. Say your intention. My intention is to go up and have fun. Why am I going to go have fun? Because I'm going to die, and I don't know what's going to happen after that. So this little section of life that I have, this is the fun part.
Yeah.
So have fun with it. Do whatever the fuck you want. Don't let somebody, dude, you get frustrated with why am I letting this, this person or this thing or this book or whatever the fuck it is dictate my happiness? It just doesn't make sense. You're wasting energy thinking about things that aren't going to either make you happy, and if they're not giving it to you, then fucking create it. Do your own thing. Just make something that makes you happy. Do shit that makes you happy, whether it's working out or whether it's spending time with a loved one or being with your pet, whatever the fuck it is. Just realize, dude, knowledge of your own death, it's not afraid, dude, it's not, don't be scared of it.
I know I think about my own death, and you're right. And this is very, very, very solid advice. It's true. This is the only time we have. This is the only, the most important thing is to just be happy. And if you're doing something that's not making you happy, then there's other than to support yourself, there's no fucking point.
No job is going to make you better. No lover is going to complete you.
Nope.
If you're looking for any of that stuff, then you're looking to get satisfaction and get not gratitude, but get reassurance, I guess is the word, because of oh man, I want this girl to like me because if she likes me, then I'll know I'm good. Fuck that, dude. You are born, and this is some real cheesy guru shit. You are born whole, perfect, and complete.
Thank
You
you.
have every single thing in you to make this life dope. You just gotta fucking just go towards that, whether it's manifesting or meditation or
I believe in
eating right or
manifesting
working
100%.
out or whatever it is. Just take care of yourself, take care of your mental state. And if you do all of that and you just believe in yourself, have a mantra in your head, man. Just constantly just be saying, I love you. Be around people that you love, not because you want them to like you,
That's
just
actually-
because you like them.
That's one of my hardest is giving myself compliments. I'll do the whole dude, you're gonna die. You could die tomorrow. Go take the time to go to the show that's maybe out of your way.
Yeah.
Go to Jersey. Go do the show, whatever. But I will say I think the hardest part for me personally is just going it's just telling myself I love you love yourself. Loving yourself has always been a weird battle for me where it's loving yourself as a whole. It is work. You're saying you have it in you, but it takes time and you put in that work and it's like going to school.
You have to realize it. You have to realize that nobody is thinking about you. Nobody gives a fuck. No one. They're all thinking about themselves. Everybody has got the same shit. The most successful people are some of the most unhappy people. So and I'm telling you, once it's like this. If you're man, I want to find a girlfriend so bad. If I find a girlfriend, man, my life will be so great. And then you're putting off this energy that's so, desperate, even though it's only a mental thing inside of you. But people feel that. And you're like, you go into a room to pitch a TV show or you pitch an idea, a podcast, whatever the fuck it is, and inside you're like, God, I need this so bad. I just need this so bad. They feel that. They're not going to give that to you. If you already feel like, if you're walking around, like the people that are successful are the people that are like, fucking, I'll get it. Great. If not, I'm still going to be happy.
Yeah,
Who gives a shit?
Someone was talking about that recently. They were like, oh, I can't hang out with any dudes that doesn't get girls around me. Because the idea is if I'm getting girls and he's not, he's going to end up resenting me. He's going to...
That's him.
No, it's not.
That's
no,
projection,
but it's hanging out with people, understanding, going like, okay, they have their own things. Like even like the young comics I hang out with, I have to hang out with people I know for a fact that like whether if I'm proceeding in my career has nothing to do with their careers. Like they're doing their own thing, they're getting their own pussy, they're getting their own girls, they're getting their own gigs. But if you're hanging around people who are honestly, not to be mean, but if you're hanging around losers, it's like that energy is gonna start rubbing off on you as well. Where it's like a weird thing of also put yourself around people who are like pushing yourself. Like that's why I like hanging out with you and like hanging around Gas Digital, hanging out with Jay. Where it's like, okay, if I'm the quote unquote unfunniest, dumbest person in the fucking room, I'm doing a good job. Never be the smartest person in the room, because if you are, you're in the wrong fucking room.
That's Lewis had that advice that someone else gave him that was like, you can only have one unfunny friend or something like that.
That's funny.
But I forgot who gave him that advice. But I agree that I feel like there are many moments in my life where there's like a situation that's making me unhappy, and you have to be like, all right, you're only alive right now, so you can't stay in situations that are...
My biggest fear is dying after something stupid. Like, my biggest fear is being, like, on the phone with, like, my best friend over something so stupid, over, like, a podcast thing, and being like, bro, honestly, I'm not talking to you today. And then just dying, and it's like, well, that... Like, like, dying... Like,
suck.
I don't know why that's one of my biggest fears is, like, being petty, and then, like, possibly dying. Like, even, like, with my mom or anyone, I can never leave a text on a bed. No,
Yeah, me
I can
too.
never leave... I'm always, like, that person that's like, hey, by the way, I love you.
Me too.
Because I'm just like, God forbid anything happens, somehow I'm going to feel bad when I'm dead.
Yeah. I feel the same.
Yeah, man.
Guys, we have to wrap this up. I've had so much fun, and I've learned so much about living in the moment, appreciating life, being happy, blowing my nose, and singing. Josh, where can people find you?
JoshAdamMyers.com is where I have all my tour dates. I'll be in Plano, Texas this weekend. I'll be in Philadelphia, Arizona, Minnesota, fucking DC, Austin. I got a bunch of dates. So go to JoshAdamMyers.com and at Josh Adam Meyers on all social media, and listen to my podcast, The 500. As my voice went, listen to my podcast, The 500. It's on all platforms, yo.
How about you, Dylan?
Guys, you find me at Dylan J. Negri on all platforms. Also, go to my website, DylanComedy.com. I have a bunch of February and March dates. I'm doing stuff in D.C., doing stuff in Denver in April, and also going to Philly with Tilted Axes with Dave and Derek. Also doing Natalie Cuomo show February 10th, so that will be at the Stand. So come to the Stand. You'll see
Well, I'm
Natalie
doing that,
Cuomo.
right?
I think you are.
Anxiety?
Oh, no,
Anxiety
that's
attack?
that's the third.
Oh, I'm doing the...
They
You
booked me
doing,
on
you
the-
doing classy, trashy?
Oh my God, I have so many shows at the Stand. Wow.
No, I'm doing the other one. Which one are you on?
I'm on anxiety
I have a show with
attack.
Justin there. Yeah.
No, I'm on.
We're both talking about anxiety. We both have disorder.
But yeah, come out to the Stand.
That
New
was
York
a really
City.
good
It'll be
Justin.
a
Was
lot
that
of
Justin? Is Justin voice?
Come on.
fun. Is that Justin voice? That was Justin. He's here. That was a drop.
Talk to me about dogs.
I like dogs.
What you have to do
You gotta put it in heel first.
Say
and
you're
then-
always training your dog.
You gotta always train your dog.
Even when you're not training.
Even you're not training your dog, you train your dog. You train your dog all the time.
Justin Silva, where can everyone find you?
Find me at languageofdogs.com. Yeah. And I'll be having sex with 8 girls tonight.
Dylan, is there anywhere else people can find you?
No, just go support Doped Up and Die, my podcast on YouTube and all platforms.
Okay, and for me, you can find me at Natalie Cuomo _ on Instagram, at Natalie Cuomo, TikTok, and Twitter. Find me on YouTube, youtube.com/Natalie Cuomo. I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/Natalie Cuomo. I'm streaming every day, 4 hours a day. What? That's fucking crazy and stupid and a waste of my time. It's okay. I'll hang out with you. Also, join me on Discord. It's Natalie Academy. I'm in there all the time. So yeah, let's have some fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Help with Natalie Cuomo. Tune in next week for another episode. Find us on social media at Help with Natalie.